All right, so the link is live, so I'd just say give it 5 minutes so that people can get in there, and then you could start at 7.
Okay. And then you just cut this part and upload it on the website?
No, this is all part of it. So anything said from here on out is all being recorded and going to be up there.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to talk tonight about our College Credit Plus program. This is a program throughout the state of Ohio. Some of you we had shared, the county also had a meeting that some of you may have joined and listened in. So I am going to show a little bit of that. And so some of this I'll go through pretty quick, and it will be on our website. And then I'll walk you through our website and where you can find some more details and some more information. But the College Credit Plus program is called a dual credit program. And the reason why it's dual credit is because students can earn high school and college credit at the same time. Students enroll in college courses and adhere to those policies and requirements of the college. Okay, so students that can qualify in grades 7 through 12 must complete an assessment exam, which we'll talk about, to be determined eligible based on exam scores for College Credit Plus. Students may apply to any public college or participating private colleges. Students may apply to multiple colleges, and students must be Ohio residents. So when we're talking about applying to multiple colleges, a student, we offer right now in our building courses that are offered with our Girard teachers who are approved through the universities. We're using Eastern Gateway and we're using Youngstown State University. So the student can be enrolled in multiple colleges and still be in our building without leaving our building at all. Okay, students may choose from a variety of college level courses as determined by placement testing and course eligibility rules. Students can earn credit to satisfy both high school and college requirements. So if a student takes a 3 semester hour college course, it equals 1 high school credit. So if they take a 3-hour college trigonometry class, it would be 1 high school credit of trigonometry to meet their graduation requirements. Okay, students must successfully complete the courses in order to earn the credit. Even if a student fails or withdraws from the course, the college transcript and high school transcript will reflect the student's final grade. So once the student is past the drop date or withdrawal date, whatever grade they receive will go on their high school transcript. Students may take courses during the summer, fall, and spring semesters. So obviously the ones during the summer would be students that are taking classes outside of our Girard building. We do not offer CCP classes in the summer. We only offer classes in the fall and spring. So students who want to take a summer class typically are upperclassmen going into 11th or 12th grade, and they would take it through another university. Students may take courses at the high school, and that asterisk just means if your whatever high school courses your school offers, on a college campus or online. So students, to be eligible for the program, students must be eligible for College Credit Plus participation based on assessment exam scores. So what that is, student scores must show that they are ready for college level work. And the reason what they look at are, these are some examples. There's the ACT, the SAT, the AccuPlace or the ALEX. These are some examples. Not all the schools we use these. Each college and university may have different exam requirements. So a student that wants to take a class through Eastern Gateway and YSU, they could qualify for Eastern Gateway, but not meet the requirements for maybe a math class or a YSU class. Okay, colleges and universities review the student scores using standard statewide standard scores. If a student's scores are not college level, colleges can consider the student's exam scores if the scores are within a specific range and if the student has a certain GPA of 3.0 or higher and a recommendation letter or form from us. Okay, so due to COVID, this is all changed recently. Eligibility assessment testing was impacted during spring of 2020. So we know a lot of ACT testing was canceled. So our students that are currently taking Eastern Gateway here in our building were waived from the ACT if they had certain GPA requirements. Now, flexibility was provided for the 2021 academic year. This flexibility has not yet been determined for future semesters. So we will, this PowerPoint is from the state of Ohio, so they are revisiting that constantly. Okay, college admissions. Students must apply for admission. So if a student, how it will work here soon is the universities that we use here in our building right now are Eastern Gateway and YSU. So they will come, we'll see, it may be virtual. We will set up admissions appointments with the universities. So students will sign up for registration day and they will meet with universities, whether virtually and in person. I know right now Eastern Gateway is going to be in its some capacity at the beginning of March. So in March, we will start registering for next school year. Students must meet admission requirements of the college, and they must contact the college to learn about their requirements, processes, paperwork, and deadline. Colleges have the final decision on student admissions. Okay, course registration. If the student is considered eligible and has been admitted to the college, then the college will discuss course options with the student based on assessment scores, prerequisites, and other requirements. There are different requirements. If a student wants to go on campus, they will have more, they will have to meet more with an advisor, and there's more steps to the process if they want to take courses outside of our building. With COVID, things were changing. In the past, students would actually go to like YSU and do an in-person orientation. That has changed due to COVID, so we'll see how it goes this summer. Okay, CCP courses can satisfy high school graduation requirements. School counselors can help students understand graduation requirements and CCP course substitutions. Some high schools have more requirements for graduation than the state limit. Students must complete their first 15 credits in level 1 courses, which is transferable credit. So a student can't jump into a too advanced of a college class. That will, the CCP, that will not be allowed. Students must post their level 1 courses, see website for details. Each college will post what is available for students to take. Once a student completes certain levels, they can move on to more advanced classes. So the only thing that's not allowed, so if a student wants to go to YSU or Kent Trumbull and take some classes, there are some stipulations. I had a student once who was on campus at YSU senior year who wanted to take like a study abroad, and that was not allowed. PE courses, pass-fail classes. So there's certain stipulations that, if a student, this is if a student is going to go out of our building to take classes. Okay, grades. College credit plus grades earned in the college course is the same grade that will be on the high school transcript. CCP course grades will be factored into the high school and college GPA. So this is where we have to make sure a student is prepared to take these classes. Even though they may be taking a class that's taught here by our high school teacher, it still will be permanent and it goes on their high school transcript, and they are starting a college transcript. So I've seen it before where a student takes maybe a college, YSU course, and they think, well, I'm going away to Kent State, only your credits transfer, not my grades. Well, then they decide to move back home, or they change colleges, and that grade is there at YSU. So no matter, as soon as they start taking these classes, they are building a transcript. If a school uses a weighted grading system, we don't right now. We don't use, our highest GPAs are 4.0. So students don't get extra credit. They don't get more than a 4.0 for taking these courses. Students should consider courses in a career pathway that interests them. Students should ask about pathways that identify courses leading to a major degree. And what's difficult about this is a student who's 8th grade and a student who's going into their senior year probably are different levels as far as what college courses they're taking. I know my daughter, who's a freshman in college now, her senior year, her junior year, she took some CCP courses here in our building, but her senior year, she did take classes on campus at YSU. But that's definitely something that's different. And we would sit down one-on-one with the student to make sure they're taking courses that will help them graduate from high school. But one positive thing about that is they could possibly take some courses that maybe we don't offer here in our building. Okay, graduation. Students may take college credit plus courses in subject areas that will satisfy graduation requirements. Students must work with school counselors to ensure they are meeting any mandatory testing and or high school graduation requirements. So we still have to fulfill our state testing for students to graduate. Students may be enrolled up to 30 credits per year, which includes high school courses. This is a calculation that I go over with students. So if a student is going into, say, their junior or senior year and they want to take only college classes, they could take 30 semester hours. But for every high school class they take, we start subtracting those hours. So you can't take full high school credits during the day and take CCP college classes at night. They will not allow you to have that many hours. If a student enrolls in more than 30 credits for the year, the school will discuss with the student whether to drop a course, or I have had students who take a heavy load in the fall, and then this spring, it seems like their course load's a little light as they get to be upperclassmen. And I have had parents pay for a class because it is at a reduced rate. So that is an option for a parent to pay for a class as students if they go over their hours. Okay, tests are sometimes given weekly or at the end of the chapter. College, so this is just showing you the difference. Tests are generally fewer in number and cover more material. So students definitely have to be ready for that college level work. There may be no homework grades, there may be no quiz grades, there may just be 2 tests and that's their final grade for the year. And our teachers have to follow what the colleges require of them. So this is one thing that's good for a student to realize if they're ready for college. So high school typically required homework ranges from 1 to 3 hours per day. College standard rule is up to 2 to 3 hours of homework for every hour spent in class. So that almost doubles when you look at their college classes. So the difference between high school and college: high school information is provided mostly in class, out of class research is minimal. Colleges, coursework will generally require more independent thinking, longer writing assignments, and out of class research. We know this, COVID really definitely proved that. High school, just what we just talked about, numerous quizzes, tests, homework assignments. In college, there's a lot fewer tests, a lot fewer homework assignments, so therefore that impacts your final grade. Okay, role of a parent. This one, I've had parents get a little upset over this sometimes. I know it's tricky. As far as when a student's in high school, parents are strong advocates and they work closely with the teacher and counselor. When a student is taking a college class, the parent serves as a mentor and support for the student. The college views the student as an independent decision maker. So there's FERPA laws, which are kind of like HIPAA with healthcare, same with college. So even though they're a high school student still, once they're taking college classes, you cannot call a university and talk to somebody in charge of CCP. Your child has to do that. Even with my daughter, when she were at YSU last spring, I couldn't call and talk to them regarding her grades or anything like that. So that's a little hard for a parent because it is hands off. Now, as an advocate, I can call and get help out if we need to, but students really have to be advocates for themselves and independent to be a part of this program. This is for another difference between high school and college. Parents and students work with high school staff. This is for students who are on IEPs and 504s. Colleges, it's handled a little differently. Students must work directly with college staff to determine if accommodations are needed. So a student on an IEP or 504 can definitely participate in this program. The process is a little different. They may be required to take a college test, and then they will determine what their accommodations are. So that is a little different. Students can earn high school and college credit at the same time. So these are the benefits of the pros of being in the CCP program. They can get a head start on career planning and degree or certificate completion. They can have experience college early to understand the expectations of college life. Definitely save on tuition and textbook costs. If a student does not do well, I've had some students, definitely this has happened to, if they do not earn a passing grade or if they withdraw too late, the district may require students and families to reimburse the tuition. So we pay a tuition bill pretty early on. And if a student drops the class or they're failing it and they need to get out of it, a parent could be responsible or child responsible for reimbursing the school the cost of that course. The grades that students earn will be on the student's college transcripts permanently. So if my daughter is away at college right now for 2 years and she comes back and goes to YSU, she has some YSU classes. Those will be on her transcripts when she comes back to YSU. If a student withdraws or fails, future financial aid may be also impacted negatively. There is more information for this. This gets a little in depth. If a student performs poorly, they may be placed on CCP probation, CCP dismissal, or an academic probation or dismissal. That's a newer policy in the last couple of years. So if a student drops below a certain grade point, they will be on probation, not be able to participate in CCP, which is right here. Student will be placed on CCP probation if he or she earns less than a 2.0 in CCP courses or withdraws from 2 or more courses in one academic term. This just says if a student is on probation, they may not enroll in College Credit Plus courses for 1 semester. They may not enroll in a college course in the same subject. So if a student gets a D in English, they cannot take an English class the following semester. They also can be removed from CCP program for dropping below a certain GPA. There is an appeal process if that would happen, which we would work through if that happens. Expenses at public and colleges or universities, there's no cost to the student for tuition, required fees, or books. So when my daughter went to YSU last spring, if she had costs for the book, she had to go to the bookstore and tell them she was a CCP student, and the school gets billed for the books. A nice thing, some of these online courses, Eastern Gateway, all their cost of books are built into their program. So a parent or child does not pay for books for the program. If they would attend a private school for college classes for CCP, there may be some expenses there. Some optional expenses are responsibility, like my daughter, when she went to YSU, we had to pay for the parking pass. Parking and transportation is not included in the program. So what do you need to do if this is something that you're looking at? Students must complete the intent form. It says like April 1st, which the state puts this date in place, and it kind of drives me a little bonkers because in March, YSU, Eastern Gateway are going to be scheduling for next year. So if a student waits till April to turn in this paperwork, they're going to have missed the deadline and missed meeting with the universities while they're here. So if a student is interested, they need to get these forms in as soon as possible, which I'll show you. Many times a student will go ahead and apply because we can't miss deadlines, and then they change their mind and decide, well, maybe this isn't for me. So if your child's maybe in 8th grade right now, going into 9th grade, and you're not really sure if this is right for them, I can definitely answer some questions. We can have, phone conversations. If you fill out the paperwork and they decide not to do it, it's not an issue at all. We have plenty of time to straighten that out. But if they are interested, there are some things we need to get done soon here. This just goes over option A or B. There's options. So if a student is over their hours and a parent wants to pay for a class, they would choose a self-pay option. If a student wants to take a class and does not want it to appear on their high school transcript, they could pay for the class. Not many people usually do that. That's one of the bonuses of the program. So this just talks about the different options if a parent decides to pay for the class. What support services are available? Counselors continue to provide assistance to all College Credit Plus students. College advisors provide course selection assistance. So they do have to meet with an advisor to help pick their courses. The advisors are great. If they say, I think I want to go into something forensics, they can help them find some classes that would be good for them. Colleges must provide the same academic support to College Credit Plus students, such as tutoring, library, advising, counseling. So if a student is here in our building and taking a college math class, if they are able to go to campus, they do have some access to some tutoring and things outside of our building.
We have a question.
Yeah.
Is it only for grades 9 through 12 or for 7th and 8th grade too?
By law, it's in 7th and 8th graders can take courses. To be honest, I've never had a 7th grader take courses because it's a little challenging to take courses in 7th grade. I did have an 8th grader take a class before in our building. So they were with high school students for a college class, but by law, 7th through 12 can take courses. And if a student that age wants to take a course, we would definitely have some conversations and see how that would look in their schedule and how it would fit into their day. So one of the questions parents want to know is, or students want to know, is this college course going to transfer? So certain courses are automatically going to transfer. So if you're going to an Ohio public school, it doesn't matter if you take a course with Eastern Gateway or YSU. I know students may think, well, I want to take it from a certain university. If you're taking it at Ohio public school and you go to another Ohio public school, the courses are going to transfer. If you're looking at a private school, which my daughter's at a private school, all of her courses transferred. It's hard to know right now. We can't guarantee that it'll transfer because if your student's in 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th grade, they may not know where they want to go to school, but Ohio transfer credits do transfer if you're looking at Ohio public school. So if I take Eastern Gateway classes here, YSU courses in our building, and I go to, your Kent, your Akron, your YSU, Ohio State, those state public schools will accept your college credit. Now, if your dream is to go to an Ivy League school and you're looking at taking these courses, they're not going to accept our credits. I had a student go to Case Western a few years ago. She was looking at Case Western, and Case Western doesn't take anybody's credits. That's just their policy. But at the same time, they wanted to see her transcript have these challenging courses. So it was kind of a double-edged sword because she wouldn't have gotten into those universities, like a Case Western, if she didn't take these courses. So being college ready is definitely, this is a big one, is more than just being academically ready. So we've had students have 4.0s who struggle when they start taking these college classes, especially in this last year. We've learned this a lot with students having to be more independent, us not being in the building as much. Consider emotional and social transition and college expectations. Consider time management and organizational skills are huge. Being college ready is more than just being academic ready. Grades earned in a course are for high school and college credit and will be calculated into the student's GPA. So if I'm in 8th grade and next year I decide to take a college intro to speech class and I get a B or C or whatever I get, that is on my high school transcript and that stays there. I've had students who maybe do poorly. Maybe they get what they think is poorly. Maybe they get a C in a class and they want to retake it. Since it's already with CCP, you cannot retake a class and have us pay for it again. You can only take it once. Okay, so here's some deadlines. So April 1st is when you have to fill out the intent form. That goes to us, which I'll show you here in a minute. If you are looking at certain universities, and I'll play little clips from the 2 universities that we use so you know what you need, because Eastern Gateway, we use a lot of courses, in YSU, they require different things. So if you want to take classes at YSU next year, they do require the ACT, and the last date that they want you to take it is in April. So that deadline is April 17th is the ACT, and that date is March 12th. You'd have to have the ACT done by or registered by if you haven't taken the ACT. Eastern Gateway's policy is a little different. Okay, so the intent form is what I'm going to show you. It's up to the student to apply for admissions to the university. Like I said, they will come in, but if a student's absent or misses that or decides to try it later, it is their responsibility to register for those classes. They have strict deadlines. Colleges can't bend the deadlines for the CCP. So this is just the website that I used. Ohio Higher Ed is where you can find a lot of information. I'm going to show you. So I'm going to show you a brief. I don't think it's very long. You might have heard it. So, and then I will show you, you're not going to watch this whole clip, but this is YSU and Eastern Gateway. So if a student wants to take classes in our building for college credit, never go on campus, these are the 2 universities we currently offer classes through, Youngstown State and Eastern Gateway. And I have a handout to show you what courses we offer through those. So we'll play this little clip from YSU.
Thank you. Of course. So hello, my name is Sarah Sonal, and I work for the Office of College Access and Transition at Youngstown State University. So our office actually manages the College Credit Plus program. I do want to thank you guys for including us in this presentation here tonight. All right, so let's first talk about how you can actually participate in CCP at YSU. So at YSU, it's going to be a 3-step process. So students then first must be eligible by showing college readiness in one or more areas. If they're eligible, then they must apply for admission. If accepted, then they complete the placement testing if needed. They attend the orientation, they meet with their advisors. We really have this set up nicely for our students that everything kind of leads into each other. It is important to understand, though, that eligibility does not mean admission, and admission does not mean course placement. So you may be accepted into the program, you may want to take certain courses, but you may need to have certain placement test scores in order to take courses. So we're going to talk a little bit about that too. So first, we start off with, do you have an ACT or an SAT score? If yes, then in order to qualify, there's going to be 2 options. I'm just going to leave both options up here on the screen for you right now. So if you fall into one of these 2 options, then you're going to be able to participate and take CCP with us. If you don't have an ACT score, or you know you're not going to take an ACT or SAT, then you do have an option to take a free virtual eligibility test with us. This is going to be virtual. We started doing these last year. They're very successful. You call in, you make an appointment with us, and you're able to take the test. If you, again, are not going to take that ACT or SAT, or you're just worried about how you're going to score on it, there are 2 options that you can qualify for the eligibility test. So these are requirements. I really am going to strongly suggest that you check out our website and our brochure, because this is just a small, brief presentation. But a lot of this information, everything we're going over, can be found on our website. So in order to sign up for eligibility testing, you would just call our CCP office. Please allow us a couple days to give you a call back. We'll go over the process with you. We'll send you an email. You'll sign up for a testing date. It is important to note that you have to have the test complete by March 15th. So the sooner you can sign up for it, the better. We already have students calling in, signing up for it now. And the cool thing about this test is you're not going to be left wondering how you scored. The score actually pop up right on the screen as soon as you're done with the test. So it's really cool. We've been very successful with it. So again, the deadline to complete that is March 15th. We ask that you call in no later than the week right before the test. That way that we can get everybody processed. Please do note, though, if you are admitted through the eligibility test, you will need to complete placement testing. So you'll have to take placement testing in English and math. So just understand that placement testing is different than eligibility testing. The eligibility test just gives you permission to take part in the program. The placement testing tells you how and what types of courses you can place into. So the next steps, very first thing, make sure you submit your letter of intent to your school or to the state if you're a non-public or homeschool student by April 1st, regardless of your test scores, regardless of like your GPAs, anything like that. If you don't have that submitted by April 1st, you may not be able to participate in this program. YSU, we are scheduling virtual application days with area high schools. So if your area high school is going to be scheduling one with us, please make sure that you attend that. We started doing these in March when everything started going virtual. They were very successful. At one of the schools, we were able to do over 100 students in one day, get all their applications completed and submitted to us. If application day is not scheduled by your school, you can still apply online. The paperwork, everything can be found on our website. I cannot stress this enough, though. Make sure that if you are admitted into the program with us, you activate your YSU email account, because that is going to be the only place that we send information to you regarding the next steps. So some important dates and deadlines for a program for non-public and homeschooled students. ACT will need February for summer, April for fall and for spring, or SAT March, and the application deadline will be March 15th. For public school students, it's going to be summer. If you want to take classes, summer 2021, we'll need your ACT by February, SAT by March for all dates, and then the application by March 15th. If you want to take fall or spring classes with us, ACT in April, SAT by March with an application submitted by April 7th. So again, please also note, again, the eligibility test deadline will be March 15th, and our application does go live on our website in January. So if you do have any questions, if you need anything, I know this is a lot of information that we just went over. I'd love to come out to your schools and talk with you guys about it more if you'd like that, or you can give us a call or email us. We want to be there to help you. please review our website and check out our brochure. You can find all that on our website. And we have a much longer version of this presentation that will be posted on our website also. So thank you guys for allowing me to present here today.
Sarah?
You had one more follow-up question.
Okay.
How does that work if our children are currently in Edgenuity and not in the buildings at this time?
Well, this wouldn't start until fall of 2020. So if a student is still on Edgenuity, it wouldn't, these are in-person classes. Like in this past spring, when everything shut down, our students still did the college classes through Zoom, and they had different requirements. So these classes are taught with YSU approved teachers. So it does fall under different guidelines as far as CCP. So in the spring, when school shut down, our CCP teachers could run it different than their Girard High School classes. So there are different expectations. So if they're an Edgenuity student, it would be difficult. They would probably look, as far as the YSU goes, it would be difficult to do it. But Eastern Gateway, if they wanted to do online classes, not in our building, they could be an online student through a university and take CCP classes. So maybe they still were a YSU student. They wouldn't be here in our building, but they could take the YSU classes online if they like the online learning. But if it's an in-person class, that would be difficult. Hopefully that made sense. Okay, our other video. So this is Eastern Gateway. Now, Eastern Gateway is the other university we use in person. And then I'll show you what courses we offer here in our building. This one's a little harder to hear.
Have arrived after your presentation.
Can you see the screen?
Screen looks good.
All right, so my name is Patrick Harbin. I'm the College Credit Plus Academic Advisor with Eastern Gateway Community College. I'll try and go real quick because some of the stuff is a little bit redundant from everybody else's. Application process, step one, same thing as everybody. I use it as step one. It's so important that you turn in that intent to participate form by the April 1st, 2021 deadline. If you don't turn it in, you can't change your mind in the springtime, if you missed out on the fall. So please make sure that you do get that in. Step two is applying to Eastern Gateway Community College. You will want to check with your school counselor because we do personally come to a lot of the high schools and we do hold application days. We could also do them virtual. So check with your school counselor. If we don't come there or they decided not to hold something, then you can always go to our CCP webpage and apply. Right now, our summer and fall applications are currently open. The things that students will need in order to fill out the application is a social security number, and very important, you need a non-parental, non-high school personal email. Please do not have your student use a high school email. One of the problems that we are having several of the high schools is that the firewalls are up so high that if they use their high school email, it doesn't go to their spam folder. The email never gets sent to them. And just like YSU, all of their account information will be sent to whatever email they applied with. So please make sure that they use a personal email. Step three would be ACT, SAT replacement testing. At Eastern Gateway, you do not have to have an ACT or SAT score. You can just placement test. So if you didn't get the scores that you needed on the ACT, SAT, or you have not taken it, you can always do placement testing. Again, check with your school counselor to see if we're going to be holding a testing day there at the high school, because a lot of them we do come there and personally test, although with COVID, we know things are different. Students can always, once they've applied, because they have to apply first, they can always contact the CCP office and they can schedule placement testing directly with me. Scores everyone has gone through. This information is on our website too. I believe Mr. Boshev has also gone over ACT, SAT scores. So here are the scores that you would need. It's the same all the way around that the state has set up. Courses that you can take, there's the by law, the first 15 credit hours that a student has to take are what's known as level 1 courses. Those are Ohio transfer module courses. Ohio tag courses, basically general education courses, but these are also courses that are guaranteed by law to transfer to any public college or university in the state of Ohio. If your student is looking to go to a private school or out of state, we would encourage you to contact that particular school. Let them know that you're interested in taking courses at whether it's YSU, Kent, or Eastern Gateway. Tell them the courses and then see whether or not they will accept them. Where can I take courses? They can do them at the high school. Many of the high schools, we do have faculty there, credentialed high school faculty teaching the courses. You'll want to speak to your high school counselor. Students can always take them online. We offer over 60 level 1 courses that are available online. Once they've completed that, there's well over 100 online courses, other online courses that they can take. They're also welcome to come to our Steubenville and Youngstown campus, although with COVID right now, we don't have any courses on campus. But at our college, you have to be 16 years or older to come onto our campus and take a course. You're fine to do it online, but if you want to come on campus, you have to be 16 years or older. Course registration process, once the student has applied, been accepted, then they would schedule an appointment with me to register. We do come to the high schools and hold registration days, so please check with your school counselor. And then students will go through an orientation. We do come to the high schools and do orientations, or if a student just registers with me directly, I will actually orientate them right then and there while they're doing when we do our registration appointment. Support that you get academic advising. Again, I'm the academic advisor, so they will meet with me. If you're interested in a certain program at our college, I can always have you speak with that program director. We offer free tutoring in any subject. All the students have to do is contact our Office of Accessibility Services. CCP students are considered college students, so any kind of benefits that any college student would get, the students would also get. So there's lots of deals online for, I've heard 50% off on Amazon Prime and Apple Music, so these students get those. The deadlines, our deadline to apply for the summertime is May 1st. For the fall, we moved it. It used to be May 1st, but with COVID and everything going on, we wanted to give students some extra time. So our deadline for the fall application will be July 1st, and for the spring, that should actually say spring 22, not 2021. It's going to be October 1st. And then if you have any questions, Sarah Fletcher is the Director of College Credit Plus. My name is Patrick Durbin again. I'm the College Credit Plus Academic Advisor. Here is our information now. I believe Robert talked a little bit about parents contacting the colleges. Because of the FERPA law, we do have to deal directly with the students. So please have the student call us, encourage them to call us because we do have to work directly with them, but be there with them. So then, because sometimes kids don't know the right questions to ask. So you could sit there and say, hey, ask them about this. So you could serve as the mentor. That's all for my presentation. I know I was real quick, but I tried to get it.
That was great. Patrick did a great job. Appreciate it.
Okay. There also, during this presentation, Kent State Trumbull, a CCP rep, did also speak. Currently, we don't offer any Kent State Trumbull courses in our building. We're just using Eastern Gateway and YSU. I have had students, though, who get to be upperclassmen and they want to go to Kent State University, so they have left our building and taken classes on campus at Kent State. So the options are really endless. I have students who, each one of them have different situations as far as the CCP courses they're taking. So as far as what you need to do, both of the speakers, they talk a lot about the intent form. So I'm just going to show you real quick. If you're on Girard City Schools webpage and you go to high school and you go to the school counseling website, over here is our College Credit Plus. If you've never been on our website, there's great resources. Here's some ACT. They mentioned the ACT. And here's some dates. So there's some of those resources. Here's our College Credit Plus link. So if you go to this link, it talks about like what CCP is, some of the stuff that we went over tonight, requirements. One of the things YSU said is you can qualify for the program. So my child might have the right 17 ACT, but if they don't meet the college readiness scores, And actually that says a 22 in math, like YSU, if you don't have a 27 in math and you want to take college algebra, maybe as a junior or a senior, you're going to have to do some steps to take those courses. So our students who are in Algebra 2, Algebra 3 this year, the next year, if they're on that college pathway, they would have to decide whether they want to take high school trigonometry or the college algebra, college trig pathway. So pretty soon those things are going to have to be decided. So down here are some links. This takes you, if your student is interested and needs to take the ACT, YSU talked about needing the ACT. There's the link for that. And here's the intent form. So this is created by us for our students. So this is what the state of Ohio says. It's not due till April 1st. I would get this in as soon as possible, because if you wait to April 1st, you saw like the YSU deadline is mid-March. So March 1st and 2nd right now, I have tentatively to schedule with Eastern Gateway. So if you wait, do not turn in your form till April 1st, you're going to have missed all our very important, we call them application days. So once you go on the website, this is really going to help you out. So if your child says, well, I really want to take this intro to communications class. This is a class students have been very thankful they've taken. This at YSU, that's a required course for every major. So these are our courses. So if a student wants to take, a college algebra class, it is offered through YSU. They know what they need to do to who they need to register with when they come in their building. So our college Englishes are offered through Eastern Gateway. Our Intro to Lit, Eastern Gateway. We offer accounting. Now these change from year to year, but this is what we're currently offering right now. For the first time, we're offering a college chemistry class. Mrs. Lucarelli is teaching that. That one does require a placement test with Eastern Gateway. So Eastern Gateway came in and administered a test. For our students starting into high school, this is a good place to start our foreign languages. So our foreign languages are newer. We offer college sign language 1 and 2, our Italian 1 and 2, and we offer Spanish 1 and 2. So if your child's in 8th grade and they're a good student, they're independent, they can handle the course load, the foreign languages are a great place to start. If a student is not doing well in high school English, probably the college foreign languages are maybe to hold off until they take some high school courses first. But these are typically where our students going into 9th grade would start. Our foreign languages are a great place to start. So down here, this is our worksheet that parents would fill out. And then they would sign this. I have a due date on here by in a couple weeks, just because the colleges are going to start coming in and I need to know how I need to get those set up. And definitely not knowing what our future looks like, I want to get these organized. So once the students start turning these in, we keep a spreadsheet so we know what students are interested in CCP. And like I said, if you turn this form in and you decide this isn't for me, it doesn't matter. You don't have to participate. But like one of the speakers said, if you wait till May and you decide, oh, maybe I should do this, you're going to miss a lot of deadlines. So this is something, it's probably, if you're thinking about it, maybe go ahead and apply, and then we can work through some of the details. I don't know if there's some more questions I can answer.
No,
you
got all the questions. There's no new questions posted.
Okay. I mean, the biggest things are to look at, there's multiple ways to take college classes. I just using my daughter, for example, she started taking college classes first here in our building. And then she decided her senior year, she was going to take some more different level classes. We do have more seniors now, and we do have some juniors and younger students taking college classes through Eastern Gateway. Eastern Gateway is online. So we have students, we have like a learning lab set up. So if a student, instead of maybe taking a 3rd period class, they may take an Eastern Gateway college class. So they will go sit in one of our learning labs and work on their college classes. Right now, I know I had someone the other day doing a college psychology. So we set aside time in her day to go to a lab and work on that college class. It makes us a little nervous to not have time set aside for them to work on those college courses during the day. So on the website is my email, my phone number at school. If there's anything, if you, the speakers mentioned, if you click here, if you want to learn more about YSU, here's all about YSU's program, because she did go through that presentation pretty fast. Here's other courses. Now, we don't offer all of those in-house right now, but we do offer quite a few. We offer a lot. Eastern Gateway, you can see all of their information, anything you need to know. And then I did put Kent on there. We don't offer any Kent classes right now in-house, but I've had students who want to go to Kent campus when they graduate from Girard. So they go ahead and take their Kent campus courses, their CCP courses at the Kent Trumbull campus. So students definitely have that option. Obviously, if a kid's going into, 9th grade, leaving Girard High School and driving to YSU or something like that is that one's a little more challenging and, usually something that doesn't happen. So once that intent form is filled out, I will keep updating the website. I will let students know when our registration days are. I know Eastern Gateway will be at the beginning of March. I'm going to schedule YSU's here really soon, so we will know those dates. So if a student is currently on Edgenuity and plans on returning, in person next year, they can still participate. They can still email me the intent form, snap a picture of it, drop it off here. And then we could, most of the registrations are going to be done virtually, even if we do some in person. So any student that's doing a distance learning right now or an e-learner and next year they want to participate in CCP, they still will be included in all of our registrations. So, any other questions? It's really a case by case, like I said, like when my daughter, when students last year, I have students right now who are enrolled in Girard High School, they're enrolled in Eastern Gateway, they're enrolled in YSU. So they do treat them like independent students. I have some students who are doing some online classes right now. When a student goes to like YSU, when my daughter was at YSU last year and she had to keep up with their spring break, their vacations. When COVID happened, she had to keep up with what was in person. So thankfully she was able to handle it. It's really this is when we depend on the parents also to help, know if your child is prepared for this, but we can definitely guide you along the way. And our teachers here are great resources. If your child's in 8th grade and, they have maybe an English class, they would also be able to help you through this process if you're not, sure if your child this is something they're ready for. But the basic thing is get that intent form back to us here at Girard High School, and we will have some registration days. The registration days take place whether you want to take classes on campus in our building. Once you register, you will work with the colleges to see what further details you need. But that's it. Any other questions?
Nope, that was all of them.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for listening to our CCP presentation. I know it's a great opportunity. Students can very benefit a lot, but it is very confusing. So feel free to reach out to us and we can help you along the way. Keep checking our website. And once you get that intent form, it helps me get a more personal relationship with the students that want to participate so we can keep up on, especially right now when we have learners all over, different models right now. So, okay. Thank you.